Took a second to get things up and running. Had a little bit of a technical snafu at the beginning there, but we're good. We're set. We're going. So, what we're doing today is going to be, well, a variety of things, to put it bluntly. Because I found out that there's a Bullet Heaven Infest going on Steam. Not necessarily run by Steam, but it was being run through their system. So, point being, I collected a bunch of demos because, as you know, I enjoy that style of game quite a bit. Not all of them are going to be quite exactly matching that category. This one in particular being one of the ones that stands out a little bit as being somewhat of a genre shift. But all of these looked interesting, and they should all work just fine. There's going to be a little technical scuff on one of them, so it's going to be the last one in the lineup. And we might not get to it. We'll see. Depends on how long each demo lasts and how much I decide to do with each one. And for anybody that ends up watching the VODs later, all of them will be split up into individual game segments. So don't be surprised if you don't see this exact VOD tomorrow. But this is Stellar Watch. This leans a little bit more tower defense than Bullet Heaven, but it's kind of in between the two. You'll understand exactly what I mean by that when we get to it. Not a huge amount of settings or anything, but it doesn't really need them. This game also reminds me an incredible amount of a game called Nova Drift that some of you may remember from me having played it ages ago. Why is there a file here from this? I finished this run. Interesting, it saved before I did the boss fight and ended the run, so we'll just go ahead and get rid of that. Now, by doing that, I did unlock the third difficulty. We'll be going in ahead and staying on Defender and turning the tutorial off, because I've already been tutorialized. I don't need repeat tutorial. Defend a star to unlock new tech. So you've got Pulse, Laser, and Missile options right off the top. Let's try Pulse. I did Missile for my test game, and Missile is quite powerful. So let's try Pulse. You have all of them available. This is choosing what you're going to be upgrading when you finish the level. So we are this ship. We place drones in these little squares in these three flavors in order to protect ourselves. So we're going to be aiming primarily for Pulse. So I'm going to make a couple Pulse drones. This dark matter up here is how we pay for constructing everything. And you can press and hold space to speed things up. In this particular case, that didn't go well. I think the positioning was a little bit... Do you have enough range to hit them there? Yes. The pulse weapons having shorter range is definitely not working in my favor entirely here. So I gotta figure out their range. Their power's decent, just their range is an issue. So instead, let's put a pulse here, so I can surround this angle with the two pulses. Because you can freely rotate as much as you want. Like, even during a wave, you can rotate around. It's a good thing we have a lot of health. This is not going great so far. These might need some upgrades, though this is a very good attack angle for us. Yeah, you don't get the money if you don't destroy the ships, by the way. So that's a big problem. Piercer gives penetration and increased projectile range. Boost gives them more fire rate and move speed. And you can get ricocheting shots. I'm very tempted by the ricocheting shots, but I feel like Piercer's a better idea, because it gives us more range. Ooh, Spinner. I don't know what Spinner is. Because you can pick up upgrades that your drones can turn into this way. What does Spinner branch off from? Oh wait, I didn't get it yet, right. Let's just summon some pulse towers, drones, whichever you want to look at them as. We're in a slightly better position here, so it should work out better. Wheel us round. Elm's been spinning the ship. Now that I got a feel for the range on these things, now we're starting to cook. Mostly. You can kind of get an idea of what you're dealing with by watching these paths as well. Paths are accurate. Obviously, these shielded guys can only be damaged from the side that isn't shielded. Shock and horror on that one. Thankfully, they're fairly fragile once you do get past the shield. You can also recycle drones if you need to get rid of one. It's important to note as well that the drones can be destroyed. They can be attacked by the enemies if you have the drones sitting on the enemy path. Like I have that top one currently parked on the path, but they won't survive to get to it too much, so it'll be fine. Depending on the angle you're trying to defend from, you may have to park them on a dangerous location. There we go. Victory. We've unlocked the spinner. Fast spinning melee weapon. Now our only choice is the mine layer. I don't know where you get the mine layer from. I skipped that when I saw it before. Okay, pulse turns into spinner. That works perfectly then. I kind of assumed that it popped up because of us upgrading pulse, but I wasn't sure about that. So how much does it cost to get a spinner? It only costs 30. That range is pretty bad. Now I'm one short. There we go. Now we can get the spinner. Okay. Oh yeah, occasionally you'll have these events happening like these black holes. So far they seem to be favorable because I've watched enemies fly into them and disappear. So I assume it's a good thing. Like it destroys our enemies for us, so you know, useful. And as you can see, there's a decent variety of enemies he's to face even in the demo here. Just bear in mind, everything being covered here today is a demo. There were a couple playtests I looked at, but I wasn't sure if they were all like completely fair to cover. Considering they were all public playtests, it would make sense for them to be fair game, but I second guessed it too much, so I didn't do it. Also, our spinner got blown up, so it's just gone. You end up wasting the material it's made out of if you let it get destroyed, so, you know, don't do that. I think we won't really be making too much use of the spinners because they're hazardous to their own health to use. You have to get them so close. Unless we happen to get an upgrade that lets them have a little bit more reach, then maybe we'll consider it. You can also tell when the enemies have been wiped out from a wave because their line disappears. This is probably my best shot, positioning these two like that. And if you're sitting there saying, wow, the positioning on these drones is kind of miserable, good news, you can get other ships that have other drone patterns as you go through a run, so it's not the worst. I'm going to take a hit from that guy because there's just nothing I can do about him without spinning wildly and hoping for the best. I'd rather not risk it. So now we got the mine layer. Periodically deploys explosive mines. We got Prism and Carrier. Carrier is an upgraded unit. I don't know what prism is, but I assume it's off of either laser or pulse, so we'll go that way. See about picking that up. So mine layer is off of missile, as I kind of figured. Maybe we could try a mine layer out, I guess. Over here. Okay, wow, the mine layer is, as expected, not great. It takes a lot of preparation to be useful. It's like you have to actually, like, actively place the mines on the path the enemy's taking. Like this, for it to do anything meaningful. I was kind of hoping for something that would move around and lay mines. The mines do a lot of damage, though, so eventually this might end up being useful. Just you have to be a lot more proactive in moving your ship around for this to really pay off, is why I'm like, I don't know how to feel about this. I feel like this would go better with a missile build, because you'd be able to follow up the mine layer better with the missiles. Because the missiles would be able to keep attacking while you're moving the mine layer into place. We did avoid damage for the most part, though. We only got hit once, so... It's not as bad as I thought it was initially. Because at the very least, the blast area from the mines cleans up a lot. And you could always do what I'm doing right now and just piling mines on a known path. And just bombing something into the Stone Age that way. Spin all the way around to get the pulse to bear. You know what, actually? Let's commit to the bit. Let's put more mines. Okay, the mines also don't get pulled into the enemy. That was another thing I was trying to test there. But since there was a point where they both came together on a single line, it made sense to just pile mines on that line, so they'd all just fly right into death. Like, there's not a lot of positions where I can mine both paths with where I have my mine layers at the moment. Right here is probably the best positioning I can get for doubling up. Yeah, that group had no chance, because they were flying straight into death. There's a mine there. See about placing a mine ahead of them a little further forward. And then have the pulse ready to clean up. Problem is, those purple things get invincibility by turning invisible, so it's impossible to keep dealing with them with any consistency. But I'm turning around on the mine layer a little bit. I don't like it that much, but it is actually proving to be more useful than I gave it credit for being. Because at the very least, like, a condensed pile of mines can get a lot of work done, but issues like exactly this is why I don't particularly care for it. Because if the mines are just, like, slightly off path, it just doesn't do anything. Now that was satisfying, having the big pile of mines all go off together. It's also a little weird how the mines end up getting placed like offset from the mine layer itself. It's very strange basically controlling the drones to keep them out of the way of the enemies that are moving. Since you don't move them the way you'd expect to, since all you can do is rotate where they're aligned. Activates thermal lance between same level prisms. Interesting. So I think that like makes a laser barrier that they have to fly into. So we got a mine layer upgrade, a carrier, and a spinner upgrade. Let's try grabbing the mine layer upgrade against my better judgment. Is it that or go get carriers? And I used carriers on the last run I did. Okay, lasers make prisms. Let's try prisms. I can't quite afford the prisms in a pair yet, though. These lasers are gonna be the death of me. Okay, yeah, they work exactly how I figured they would. So they only do damage in between them. This is gonna be rough to use. It also doesn't do that much damage. This was actually like a horrendous mistake to try at this point. This is why you don't try new things late game. Everything about that went wrong. The setup is a mess. Well, you'll get to see how missiles work, I guess. Wasn't that great? Now it's a mine layer. Now, missiles are really, really good. Especially once you get an upgrade or so on them. That's also why I'm not really using them that heavily right now. The classic scenario, they're just too good. Mine layer, though, oscillates between being the best thing and the worst thing. That's one of those moments where it's the best thing. Okay, it does heal when you upgrade it as well, so that's good news. So screwed if I leave it there specifically, though. Okay, looks like it doesn't take damage from the shield, so I can actually park it there and it'll work. That's the problem with the giant mine pile, admittedly, is when they're all piled together like that, it doesn't quite work. Now, does this send me back to the beginning? Or does this... No, this lets you retry the stage. I wanted to go back to the beginning. Because we're gonna reset. I'm kind of surprised they let you just retry. Oh, that's not what I was asking for either, game. That's much more generous than I anticipated. I expected that when I lost, it was just gonna be over. Let's try a laser-focused setup. Because the lasers don't seem that good, but I'm assuming there's potential in there. Oh, and we have a different ship alignment again. So it is random every time. I wasn't sure. Yeah, lasers seem like they'll do well. They just didn't start off doing well. And they're still not starting off doing well, but Pulse didn't start off doing great either. This should be better positioning, so that they'll have time to cook. Yeah, they definitely need time to do their continuous damage. Which is no big surprise for, like, a hold on target laser. But as long as I kind of move with them, we're in a really good position with that. MAU. There we go. Victory. So we've got Chain Arc. Excess energy reflects onto nearby enemies, causing cascading damage. Sub-Zero freezes enemies on last hit. Deal 25% of the original HP as damage to all other enemies struck. Or Realignment, just deal 20% more damage per second. The thing is, the fact that it deals the freeze on last hit, I assume it means they, like, explode in ice when they die? Let's try it. So let's see, we got Prism, Missile, and Laser. Prism was kind of eh. So we'll just go ahead and keep upgrading our lasers. Now we got the larger ship again. I think this will be out of range. If I just shift it around a little bit. Yeah, they turn to ice when they die now. Oh, and they actually stay floating around. That's neat. Yeah, that's actually pretty effective. I kind of dig that. And it leaves neat wreckage floating around, which is always fun. Spin around, chase the enemy down. Doo-doo-doo. We've got a fantastic position here. Less of a ideal position for the other side, but since they're not coming in simultaneously, we can just clear one and then go chase down the other one. I was always trying to position so that I could hit both waves the whole time without needing to move, but it seems like for some of these weapons, that just doesn't work. We don't have an upgrade or anything for our lasers yet, so may as well just leave the lasers to their things. Ow. Admittedly, I need to stop worrying so much about preserving my drones as well, because they can just be rebuilt. And I'm ending up with a lot of excess dark matter. Or because I'm unwilling to risk the drones. Considering the timing here, let's go ahead and have you fight the crowd. So by the time they can reach the shields, yeah, this is the right way around now. Yep. I made mistakes, and I'm gonna have to pay for them. His lasers are just really bad at fighting these shield guys. Unless you just happen to have the right angle like we did at the end there. This should be a decent enough position. The fact that they drift around a little bit, though, does mess with your positioning a little bit, which is probably 100% intentional. Victor. So we've got damage per second or Chain Arc, which would replace Sub-Zero, so we'll just take the realignment. We got Missile and Spinner. Ew. I don't know what these do, though. So we're gonna... well, we can go the Missile way anyway. him with the broadside. Fun fact, there was another ship-based game I had in here that looked really interesting, but it was devouring my CPU to run it, so that one got binned. That just got completely, like, left behind. No. Aw. We almost got through that clean. But we can add more lasers now, so it'll be fine. The positioning on this one's a little awkward. We can do something like this for this group, though, because he can wait for the ones on the side. Get a bit of damage, and then I rotate these two up. And there we go. Nice and clean. Use some reinforcement. Because now we can align it so that this bunch will get hit by these two, and then these two will get hit by these two. We can also rotate so that they'll get hit early as well. Make sure to have that coverage, you know? Gotta cover all the angles. This should be good. This setup right here. Apparently the blue guy just flew right through anyway, never mind. Really thought that was better than it actually was, apparently. Oh well. Right about here should be good. Those blue guys just run right through. Great targeting priority, boys. Way to go. Don't target the ones that are, like, right next to me. Why would you need to target the ones that are close? That's just silly. We really need, like, a different ship or a, like, laser turret. It upgrade to, like, laser 2. Because we're having a spacing issue now, more than anything. Like, I don't have room to put more drones without them not being as effective. Oh, the tail. The tail broke that one. And I was too distracted by the tail blowing up the other one to stop that one from getting blown up. But it's fine. Victory. Yeah, cluster's what I grabbed when I was doing the test game, and that made the missiles way better. I'm curious about Seeker. Seeker and Cluster are unfortunately mutually exclusive. So if we end up grabbing any missiles, though, I can use the Seekers. I don't know what this means. We'll go here and find out. Okay. Let's bring a couple, at least a missile launcher into this, since we do have a missile launcher upgrade now. So we can see how Seeker works. So it doesn't seem like they're really any different than they were before. Ah, except they'll carry on after a target's destroyed. Okay, that's actually super useful. Because that means missiles that are heading towards a dying target aren't useless. That was one of the few weaknesses missiles had, is there would just be overflow. Or rather, there wouldn't be overflow. So there would be waste. And as you can see, their damage output individually isn't that good either. Like, it's not bad, but it's not gonna clear anything on its own. They're very good anti-shield turrets, though, because they go around the shield immediately, just by virtue of how they curve. That should be relatively safe. Move the laser down just like a little bit more to protect it. Nice, nice. This is eight rounds though, so this might get bad. Let's just start really populating the field here and just try spam tactics. You can't block all of it. Okay, maybe you can. But only sort of. Something like there? Yeah, something like there is probably fine. Because the lasers do higher damage than the missiles do. So it's better to start with the lasers and have the missiles do cleanup, I think. Especially since they carry over from target to target now. The ice effect on the lasers just doesn't seem to be much of a thing. And I think part of that's just the fact that the lasers are struggling to kill things. There went that laser, but that's okay. There's more where that came from. In fact, I guess it's probably a better idea to recycle them when they're damaged. Like that. Why do you scream? In the void of space, no one hears you scream. Oh, there went that missile turret, but that's fine. They are endlessly replaceable now. I have all of the money. Also, the mission's over. Oh, this is the starship choice. Okay. I didn't notice the symbol when I was clicking through when I tested this, so I didn't even realize this was the starship symbol. So we have the Via Nova, which has light armor, which means it has less hits up here, but you start with more money. Or you can have the Artanium, which gives you more armor, so more hit points up here, but less money. I'm gonna go with the money. More importantly, they also have different patterns for their drones. We're obviously taking the laser upgrade. So we started with the Arquester, which has 8 hit points, 100 dark matter, 60 turning speed, and 80% recycle, and this pattern. We now have the Via Nova, which has this pattern, 6 hit points, 120 dark matter, so we can buy more stuff right off the top, only 50 turning speed as opposed to the 60 we had, and it recycles for 70% instead of 80%. But this pattern should be a little bit better for some applications. And we can get 3 towers out immediately, which should be quite nice. Okay. A wiser man would have flipped the positioning to deal with the shield guy, but by the time he gets in range to be a problem, we can do this. And just put all of my towers to bear on him, so he doesn't stand a chance. And then we just keep rotating to deal with problems, and it all works itself out just fine. We just gotta be mindful of that lowered health pool, which, as long as I've got enough weaponry set up, health doesn't matter. Everything will die before I do. seemed like a good position for a laser, and it's looking like that's proving true. It's got plenty of time to just sit there and chew on that guy. Wow, those things are durable. The laser's got a good amount of time to work on that thing, and it's still just kind of rolled right on in. Didn't care. Nice and easy. Let's throw an extra filler over here. There we go. That alignment should keep the towers safe. We shall defeat geometry with the power of science, which needs geometry, but don't worry about that part. It's fine. I was like, that missile tower is in the worst position. What do I do about that? And the answer is I park it in the middle and hope for the best. There we go. I do really enjoy how the lines come in as well. They just come flying in from off the sides of the screen. And then they close off behind the last enemy in the wave, so you know it's the end of a wave. Makes it very easy to keep track of. What a mess these lines are, though. Oh boy. Just got stuff going everywhere here at the final wave. There goes that missile launcher, but everything else is also going. We did take a couple hits, which was not ideal, but we made it through. Let's see what that laser upgrade is. Oh, it's the same one. There we go. Laser 2. That's what I was looking for. And we'll get a ship for our troubles against the boss. Stick with the Via Nova, because I think that pattern is better for us. Something we can do now, though, is laser. Laser 2. Oh no, the laser 2 is actually just really damn expensive. Never mind. We'll cycle back to that. Missile 2s were not that expensive, so I was like, oh yeah, I'll be able to just go straight into a level 2. Oh, that turning speed actually was an issue there. I should have spun around the other way to keep the missile launcher on him instead. Hindsight is 20/20. And a reminder, get your games in for the 12 days of Drachmas quickly, because we don't have a lot of time before Christmas. Because I only had the idea a little bit too late. So what I'll probably do is I'll extend it past Christmas to account for any days that don't end up happening. And it can be whatever game you want, as long as I can actually do something with it. So if I don't own it, it will have to be refused because I don't have the budget to be buying games at the moment. But other than that, it's pretty much a fair game. Well, and it has to be like legally playable on Twitch. And there's the death again. I think we could retry that one, and we might actually be able to make that one work. So I did get a bit distracted. Let's try just putting like a bunch of lasers all on one side. This is already not going well. This might be a little bit awkward, but we'll see how well this works out for us. Nah, it's working perfectly fine. Because now we rotate over so all 4 lasers can focus on these guys. And as we start generating money, we'll upgrade the lasers. Because we get a lot of dark matter per ship. Hello, ABC. What do you want? What is it that you wish to talk about? That's great to hear. There we go. Now we can afford a laser upgrade. Let's upgrade this one because it's in one of the safest places. That's a good amount. Trying to make sure that the level 2 laser's focused on the big guy back here. Come on. Yep, there he goes. Okay. Now we focus all of our fire on dealing with this crowd back here, and we should be good. The level 2s do seem to be doing a lot. Yeah, that's always unfortunate. Just means you watched them a lot before that happened. Well, yeah, I kind of assumed that. Because I was assuming Char was probably the first in line. Because I see you over there all the time. Almost got him. And upgrade this to a laser 2 as well now. Nice. Yeah, this focused fire approach seems to be working a lot better for the lasers. Scattering around worked fine for missiles, but focus seems to be necessary with the lasers. Though we're about to let in like all of these blue guys, and I only now realize their path went that way. I thought part of their blue path went in front of me. See where the lasers were. Just completely read that wrong. Because once the lines all start crossing over each other and blurring together, it just becomes a slurry. And I can't really get a good read on it. Start small, just 2 lasers and see if we can get an early level 2. There we go, now this one's level 2 already. And I'll just focus on positioning the level 2s appropriately. There we go. So that's working. What I'm going to try to do is just turn both of these into level 2s before I do anything else. See if that works. You'll be able to reach from there. Nice. Yeah, they really do chew up those big guys pretty nicely. Almost level 2, just a little bit more. Gonna have to park somewhere like this, be able to reach both waves. Why did they blow up over there? so thrown off by the random explosion over there that I wasn't sure what to do. Move for a second. More or less, yeah. It's a little bit active tower defense, considering you have to actually move the drone towers you're using around. Which is why it's kind of a little bit genre blurry there. Now we'll distribute a couple more lasers around. Starting to get a little rougher. This guy with his multiple tails is an issue. There we go. He's gonna position better so that my lasers can get on him. Got him. Ooh, he gave a lot of money. I'm gonna keep a laser 2 as well. There we go. It's interesting how now that the larger enemies have started showing up, the music changed. Nice. So yeah, all I have to do is just keep one of those laser 2s on a target, and that target's done for. There's not really two ways about it. We still need to turn this into a laser 2 as well. That damage difference is just so good. Okay, we've got rid of most of that. Yeah, not really getting a good shot there. Don't worry about it yet. Chase these 2 down so we don't have to worry about them anymore. We just wait and repeat the process, and we're good. Nice. Last wave. Oh, now they've really just engaged clusterfuck mode on me, huh? That's fine. Now we spawn all the help. Yeah, we just slaughtered a lot of them with that setup. I knew I could win this with what I had. I just needed to think a little bit more and position a bit more. You made it. Thank you for playing the Stellar Watch demo. We hope you enjoyed it. We're excited to bring more content and truly appreciate your support. Wishlist Stellar Watch on Steam to get notifications when the game launches. Any feedback through in-game form or on a Discord channel will help us shape this game into the best it can be. Get a load of that huge thing. Oh, since the turrets are all larger too, I think that's the same thing we were fighting already. Yeah, this is an interesting one. I'll get the page out for everybody right now. There you go. So if anybody wants to wishlist that, there it is. The demo is freely available to everybody, so if you want to give it a go, it's right there. We're at a slightly awkward point in time here. Do I switch to the next one, or do I just do this again? I think we kind of ran out of options in the demo here, so I think we will just go ahead and move on to the next thing. Yeah, we'll do that one next. Because with the timing, that should work out pretty well. His chosen